तव कथामृतम् जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. We were contemplating on the various aspects of God. Now Vijnani, the state of Vijnani in which the Vijnani is understanding or experiencing like a devotee the Lord as the Bhagavan. Various aspects Sri Ramakrishna is expounding. Now, the Vijnani further sees that what is Brahman is Bhagavan, the personal God. This we saw to some extent. He who is beyond the three gunas is Bhagavan with his 6 supernatural powers. We saw how the devotee looks at the Lord like a child looking at Father and understanding, oh, he is so big, so powerful and all that. The devotee also in the same way looks at God and calls him Bhagavan. The same reality which is Brahman manifests as the universe and pervades as the Ishvara to govern the whole universe and all beings. In the same way, he appears himself as Bhagavan to the devotee. Bhakta Bhagavan. Bhagavan is what a Bhakta sees in the Lord of the universe. We must understand the concept of Bhakta. And the Bhakta is a person who is totally devoted to God and sees something that is Bhakta limits himself, understands his true position. Now, when we say Ishvara or the Lord of the universe, it is from the Jnana point of view. From Bhakta's point of view, it is not Ishvara. He is not concerned with the Aishwarya. That is, he is not concerned with his lordship. But he wants to know God has his intimate relative, some relationship, and he knows his own limitations to the extreme extent. Oh, I cannot lift myself by any means. I am bound. And God is all powerful. He can lift me. He knows the God's greatness and his limitation. In Jnani, this attitude won't be there. In Bhakta, it will be there. That's why we see in Shankaracharya's life, an important thing happens. Shankaracharya, as a small boy, leaves the home and goes off with the permission of mother. Of course, so many incidents happen, and then he reaches his guru and surrenders himself, gets that supreme knowledge of Advaita. He reaches the absolute, the ultimate reality, the Brahman, the impersonal absolute, and then comes down from that nirvikalpa state of experience. Immediately he has duties to fulfill. He has come for a definite purpose. He is something like an incarnation. He has to transform the masses. All are as if in ignorance they are fallen. And the first thing he has to do is to conquer the leaders. Once the leaders are transformed, then the rest is transformed. Buddha also does the same thing. Straight away going to kings, transforming them. If you transform the king, the kingdom is transformed. If you transform a leader of a community, then community gets transformed. It's a matter of trust the people have got. He goes on winning people. When he comes to Mandana Mishra, who was representing the same Vedas in a different way. He was Purva Mimamsi and Shankara is Uttara Mimamsi of the Shad Darshanas. Purva Mimamsa is acceptance of Veda as the karma part, as the predominant. Here Jnana part is the predominant, Shankara's. So Shankara has experienced the Advaita and he wants to conquer all people in the topmost and transform them, give them the true knowledge that through karma you won't be able to reach the supreme reality or attain the mukti which is expected out of it. You have to. So when he comes to Mandana Mishra, there will be a debate, Vada. In that Vada, the Mandana Mishra's wife, Bharati, was the supreme authority, means as much learned in scriptures as her husband was. And she equally participated in the all aspects of her husband, because Karma Kanda, important is his Dharmapatni, who is going to equally participate in every activity. So her knowledge was as much as of Mandana Mishra. So Mandana Mishra and all people who have attended that debate between the Purva Mimamsi and Uttara Mimamsi, these chiefs, both Mandana Mishra on one side, Shankaracharya on the other side, all learned Vidwams who attended their program accepted her to be the umpire to discuss for the discussion. She will be giving the judgment who is going to win, who is the winner. And as the Shankaracharya, the Advaitic concepts, it is where the all differences dissolve, where one remains. So Mandana Mishra will be defeated. When Mandana Mishra was defeated, his wife feels greatly hurt. Oh, from childhood days, what we trusted in, to what we held on to and lived a life, Now that tradition, that understanding, that knowledge, everything has to be given up and taken up. The Advaita concept preached by Shankaracharya. And she says, having won over my husband, you have won only half of the reality. I am his Dharma Patni. I am the other half of his existence. If you want to totally defeat, you have to defeat me also. I am still alive. I am still there to be conquered. I will sit for the debate. And she participated. Now, on one side, they are highly learned, means the scriptures and the philosophy, see, it is one of the Shad Darshanas. Purvamimamsa is one of the Shad Darshanas. And such a learned people, the Mandan Mishram is not ordinary, he has learned the other 5 philosophies also. They are masters of philosophy, because he is a leader of a community, you see, who is going to preach, who is going to appraise everyone who has doubt in that field. So they are all learned. And she asks a question. Can you explain what will be the experience of sex? And how it manifests in men and women? And how does it change during the Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha? And what will be the consequences? Shankaracharya is Bala Brahmachari. What does he know about sex and all? He will be startled, because it is a matter of Sarvajñatva. He wanted to climb the Sarvajña Pita by defeating all possible things which can oppose him. So now he says, give me a month's time. And then he thinks, to know with this body, I cannot stay in this body, and it cannot participate in anything because it is beyond Shuddha Sattva. It is Chaitanya itself. So I cannot know what is it. Then one thing, I should not get stained. Atman doesn't get stained by action. So I can enter into another body which belongs to a Grahastha, so that Grahastha Dharma, that body can experience, and I can experience the knowledge. So he thinks of Parakaya Pravesha, entering into a king had left the body just then. He thinks of entering into his disciple. He tells to his disciple, look after my body. I am going to enter into the king's body and experience what she is asking for. Otherwise I will not be able to claim the Sarvajñatva. Then Padmapada puts a counter question. Will it not be adharma? Will it not be? Yes. And then you have to read the life of Shankaracharya by Vidyaranya. In that all what question she puts also is there. And then he debates with his guru. What would be the, how does the people take it? Will not the people try to follow you in this being a sannyasin? How did he experience? He says, I am not doing adharma, neither it's going to stain me. I am in the supreme state of realization. Nothing can stain me, nothing can do this. And something But the intention, she is such a learned woman of unimaginable intelligence. And knowing him to be a sannyasi in a very high order and has come to re-establish dharma in the earth, knowing everything, will she ask such a question? That to ask a person who is of high integrity and who has to give a message of God to the people and transform, he has the power to give realization at will. To that extent, they are commissioned to teach. Will she ask such a question? Tell me, what is the experience of sex to a sannyasi? What did she mean something beyond? Because here comes the most subtle point. The moment as a householder, he tries to touch the enjoyment, what would be the consequences? Now, you have experienced Brahman, you have experienced this Supreme, and you are going on teaching, conquering the topmost people. Did you ever know the suffering of mankind? At the lowest strata, a householder, how he suffers in life. Just he doesn't know, he goes and gets caught. And have you done anything to them? Have you experienced what is the life of a householder? This was her intention, that he must know the other part of the life. He grew up just like a man growing up in aristocratic family can never know what is hunger, what is thirst, what is daridrya. He can never know. Once a king, there will be famine in a country, one of the Western countries, and then people start weeping. There is no food. Animals are dying. They are also struggling. All rush to king. Wait for king to help them. Then they rush to the palace and say, we are hungry. We don't have bread to eat. The king says, if you don't have bread, eat cake. What will be the state of the people? They rush into the palace and pull him down. What are you speaking? Because he knows who knows what is suffering. Shankaracharya doesn't know. Let him know what it is. So, this is a challenge not to experience and tell about sex. Nothing is there. It is only a dream. But the consequences, the intense suffering that they are going to entertain. When Shankaracharya enters the king's body and sees, he goes to enjoy, but he will be enjoyed. Bhogana bhukta, vayameva bhuktaha, tapona taptaha, vayameva taptaha, kalona yato, vayameva yataha, trishnana jirna, vayameva jirnaha. Bhartrahari in Vairagya Shataka, he says this. We went to enjoy, but we were enjoyed. The enjoyment itself swallowed us. That is what. He goes there and sees the huge burden. He first sees, lot of forum is full, 100 beautiful women are there. I can enjoy and see what it is to tell her. The moment he goes and sits on the throne of king, he sees huge burden standing on its head. So many people, his enjoyment he forgets. He forgets everything. Inside is a heart which weeps for others. It has come for a different purpose. Looks at his own praja suffering. And then he becomes so much disturbed. Oh, who will lift these people? I can argue with a scholar, defeat him in words. But who is there to look after these people? How to give support to Advaita will not help them. They don't have food to eat, they don't have health, they don't have education. To them, if I say God alone is real, Brahman alone is real, and everything is false, then it carries no meaning. Swamiji says, you see, no religion on empty stomach. So, when Shankaracharya comes back, according to story, she leaves the body and goes off, Bharati before that. In one of the versions, she goes to Brahmaloka by the time he returns. But anyway, when he comes back, then the whole thing, his attitude, everything changes. Advaita stops there. He suddenly falls down to the Dvaitic level of bringing up these people who are below the standard of understanding what Advaita is. How does he begin? A new life. Gati Stvam Tvameka Bhavani. Till then, Brahmasmi was going on. The whole of the latter part of his life he spends in lifting up the fallen masses with these things. Then alone, when you understand people who are at the lowest strata of the society, then you will understand what God is, what Divine Mother is, what is nature in essence. Two important things happen in his life is this one and another incidents in the Kashi. Apasara, leave me the way, Chandala is coming, he is going down. Then he says, Apasara, move away. Then the Chandala is coming straight away to him. He dashes and goes. Then Shankaracharya gets, why did you touch me? He says, who touched whom? If body touches body, what happens? Matter is matter. If Atman, it cannot touch. It is all pervading. Whom are you telling? The last vestige of Ajnana that is persisting, he gets rid of. Here, he comes to the lowest rung, what Swamiji and Thakur did to lift the masses from the whole of the minor, it's called minor works of Shankaracharya. The major works are the Bhashyas and Siddhanta, giving the Siddhanta of Advaita. That's major works, they are considered. All the minor works, Saundarya Lahari, Shivananda Lahari, all this latter part is spent in lifting the masses. There you will understand what is God, what is Bhagavan. Till then Bhagavan concept doesn't come. He is also Brahman, I am also Brahman. Then there is great transformation. See, Bharati, the Mandal Mishra's wife, wanted him to come to that level she becomes the instrument in his life to transform that life of a great sage. What must be her capacity and knowledge? They lived at the lower rung of the people, teaching them Dvaita and small lessons of karma. To do karma, you will go to heaven, you will enjoy there, don't worry, little suffering you can undergo, but do this yajna and all that. They were preaching. Now, the Shankaracharya takes that responsibility and they become the disciples. So, here the Vijnani, knowing God as the Bhagavan, the Bhakta, for Bhakta is Bhagavan. So here we see the clear and real understanding of what Bhagavan is comes when you suffer. You know your great limitations. Whatever I do, morning till night I may weep for God, but I can't lift myself. And God alone, whatever has to be done, He has to do. Asceti, na janami jnanam, na cha dhyana yogam. I don't know anything. What is my past? I don't know. What is my future? I don't know. What is real? I don't know. What is unreal? I don't know. Only what I know is I am suffering. So you have to do everything. Then the Bhagavan comes into picture. For Shankara, the Lord of the universe was only Ishvara. Now he comes to the level to say he is Bhagavan, he is Bhagavan. So this is what we see in the life of Shankara. Each one, in everyone's life, there will be one point where that transformation takes place. In one point the transformation takes place. इस मोड़ पे जाते हैं. What a beautiful song, you see. Everybody has to pass through that mode, turning point. There they stand and see what way to go. I don't know the path. There are that mode pe aana, one life or the other. Then he takes a straight right angle, hairpin curve to somewhere else it takes. From the movement towards the world, he changes his course to the divine. And there we see Guru standing, waiting for the disciple. When does he come? When does he come? You see Thakur weeping in the evening. Kothay acho, kothay acho. Ai, come, come. I am waiting for you. Then one by one Naren and all starts coming. That is the longing, that is the thing we see. The Guru is waiting in that mode to say, this way my child, come, come, come. I am here. So Shankaracharya is one of the two important transformations after his realization was this Bharati and that Chandala, the Lord coming in the form of to remove the last vestige of ignorance. God, Sri Ramakrishna says, you see, God had arranged various ways for each person to come back to the source, to turn back to the source and reach the source back. Om निरञ्जनं नित्यमनन्तरूपं भक्तानुकम्पा धृतविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमीड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामः.